Hello ladies and gentlemen of StarCraft Nation, Zora here from the Starcraft Squad, and when I saw this replay on, I think I get mine from sc2reps.com, I think that's where I get my replays, and I saw the length of this game and the players in it, I almost died, and I said, okay, I have to be the first one to cast this game, or I'm going to cry myself to sleep, because in it are two of my favorite players. Spawning over here at the 6 o'clock position is Select, the blue terran. He is currently ranked first in the United States ladder, 5th in the world with 4,195 points, a win-loss ratio of 73.17%, 701 wins, 257 losses. So obviously, if you don't know Select, haven't seen him play, that alone says how good he is. He is definitely in my top 10 favorite players, but in the top, at the, I guess, 1 o'clock position, it would be my favorite player of all time, LiquidJinro. I don't care who you want to say. Jinro is my favorite player, hands down. Back-to-back top 4 GSLs. And I'm going to say this right now, LiquidJinro is winning this next GSL. If you didn't watch his round of 32 games, he dominated so hard. He made it look like they were, you know, if there was something below code S for GSL, like a code B, you know, or code A, excuse me, like below code A would be code B. That's what he made them look like. He destroyed them. I'm calling Jinro on winning GSL this next season. So we have a Terran versus Terran, Metalopolis, between two extremely strong Terran players. Jinro, in my mind, is the best Terran player in the world right now. Screw MVP and Marine King Prime. Jinro for the win. And then Select, who, in my mind, can give all these players a run for their money. So, hell yeah. Jinro versus Select. I am down. Now, Select will be scouting Jinro just before this Marine finishes, so he'll be able to see what's going on here a little bit better. But this Marine will be out for Select by the time Jinro's scout gets there, so looking good for Select right now, getting that early scout. Will Jinro be able to kill the SCV? It's going to be extremely close, but Select's just barely able to slip by. Now, Marine doing a lot of damage to Jinro, so completely blocking that SCV from getting in altogether. Factory going down for Jinro. And if you guys aren't ready for a long matchup, I say leave now, because this is a long game. It's a long game. I don't think I've ever casted a game this long. It's going to be split up into 3 or 4 parts, probably, on my YouTube channel. So hopefully you guys can find them quite easily. But long game, Metalopolis, Terran versus Terran between two amazing players. If you're not down, you need to get the hell off of my channel right now. Jinro still hasn't gotten a second gas yet, so you know we're getting a reactor from Jinro on this barracks. So I'm expecting the tech swap here, and we're expanding. So definitely we see something crazy here from Jinro. Select is getting a second gas just now finished and a factory. So we have a lot of Marines here. Factory, and should be seeing a starport very soon. Tech lab going down for Select. Reactor just now being placed for this Hellion, for the Hellions on the factory. And expansion's halfway finished for Jinro. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Hellions soon, doing a lot of early pressure. We are getting Hellions for Select out of this factory, and we're getting Blue Flame with the starport. So we're seeing Blue Flame Hellions versus Jinro's fast expand with double Hellions. So, in my mind, this is looking extremely good for Select here. The Blue Flame Hellions are going to do a lot more damage than, especially with the drop capabilities, than Select's, you know, or than Jinro's double Hellion. So definitely looking good for Select. Now we have lots of Hellions here doing some scouting. Those two just pass each other. Select is, excuse me, is ready for it. We need to get a good spread on our Marines here. If they get clumped up too well, these Marines or these Hellions are going to do a lot of damage. So I like to see Select spread these out a little bit better. But Jinro doesn't have very many Hellions right now. 2 more on the way. Once those get here, though, he'll be able to do a considerable amount of damage. And right now, Select is scouting. Now it looks like he's going to get here just in time to see this expand. Will he see it? It was probably barely out of range, so Select did not see that expansion from Jinro. Now Hellion on the way, or Medevac on the way. Blue Flame's almost finished, guys, so we'll be seeing a pretty strong Blue Flame Hellion drop here from Select. if Jinro doesn't scout it, which can be extremely scary. Now, Hellion is returning home, took some damage, and going to need to be repaired up before it goes off on its, dropping mission to fry several SCVs. Right now, we have a lot of we have a lot of Hellions on the map right now for Jinro, and we don't have very many Marines, so we're getting those Vikings right now for Jinro to stop any sort of airplay, any form of drop. But Select is going for the armory here, so we're going to be seeing a tech swap to Thor's probably. Bunker going down for Select to stop any, all-in build. And then here goes the drop. We're going to go the long way home, of course. And interested to see how this is going to play out for Jinro. These Blue Flame Hellions are going to do a lot of damage. We have 4 in there now, rallying that one to it. And we do have a Thor from Select, so good tech swap from Select. He sees the early double. Like, you see that many Hellions, you expect there's a reactor. Thors dominate Hellions. Now, we need to be very, very careful for Select here. If he tries to land right here, these Vikings could intercept this. And these Vikings intercept this medevac. That's going to be horrible for Select. Marines here as well, though, so this is not going to be good for Select. He needs to get these guys out of here quickly, dropping them off finally. Vikings coming over. Here come the Blue Flame Hellions. We are running them out. We need to be careful if we get a good lineup on these SCVs, but so many Hellions here, Vikings landing, and this drop did no damage for Select at all. Select trying to come over here to do a last bit of damage, but it completely stopped. And great job from Jinro, just completely denying Select on that Blue Flame Hellion drop. Income tab shows 30 harvesters for both players. Select is expanding now, and after all of that, devoting so much to that Blue Flame Hellion drop, and it did nothing, that's got to hurt for Select. Now, we do have this Thor here, though, and I don't think it's going to be very useful. And exposing it like that to Jinro, so Jinro now has their Thor on the field, so the Vikings are going to easily be able to stop this, the medevac drops. This Thor can't get out, but right now we have plenty of stuff that can stop the siege tanks. We have Vikings that can land, we have Marine, and we have the Thor or the siege tank. So Jinro is definitely looking pretty good right now. He's also taken his third, so he's increasing his economic lead even more. Good volley there from the Thor. Select needs to be very careful here, though. If he loses this Thor, that's another huge loss here. I mean, he's 4 Blue Flame Hellions, which took 400 mils just to build the Hellions, and then 150 mils, 150 gas for the Blue Flame did nothing. If he loses this Thor, and Jinro almost scouting it, if he loses this Thor right now, this is going to be even worse off for him. I really don't see this drop being able to do much. We have a lot of units over here, but we've transferred them over here as well, so this actually could do a little bit more than Jinro would like. Only Marines right here. They're not being rallied, so that's good for Jinro. Now here comes the Thor drop. One-shotting all these SCVs. 3 down so far. This Thor already has 7 kills, so it's already a hero in my book. Volleying these Vikings. They need to pick off this medevac, and this medevac gets away. Now here come the siege tanks. Focus fire down by the Select, doing a lot of damage there. Marines getting one shot. This is doing so much more damage than I initially thought. That Thor had 15 kills on it before it died and killed several SCVs. Income tab is 44 Select, 34 for Jinro. So what a good drop from Select. Good thing that didn't get scouted by Jinro. Now we have 3 bases up for Jinro. He is choosing to get the planetary fortress on this base, but Select is expanding as well. So both players are just keeping up with each other quite well here. Jinro is researching STEM, and Select is moving out with a pretty small force here. There haven't been really very many big engagements here, as you can tell. I mean, Select is doing a good job of keeping Jinro in his base with those Thor drops, with the Hellion drops. Jinro's a little bit timid, not really want to move out right now. Throwing out 2 more barracks here. Getting STEM and combat shields for his Marines, as well as for Select. And right now we're just constantly pumping out units here. Select's third is almost finished. Jinro's has been going for quite a while now, but income tab's 44 versus 44, which it's pretty damn good at this point in the game. 14 minutes into the game. Both players have pretty big forces right now. I mean, Jinro's got a lot of Vikings here, has a lot of siege tanks and Marines, and then we have the same from Select. Not as many Vikings, so Jinro definitely has air control here. And in TBT, guys, the Air Force is what wins you the game. In my opinion. If you have a dominating Air Force, I mean, unless they have a huge amount of siege tanks on all of his Vikings, but when it comes to siege tank Viking, it really comes down to whose air wins the best. And right now, Jinro has that lead. We are starting to pump out a little bit more medevacs, and we have a lot of Marines here, and Jinro needs to be careful because we have a huge force. We are taking on Slick's 2 Vikings quite easy, though. We need to pull back because these siege tanks are sieging up. Now we do have a siege off here. Jinro, of course, is looking great right now. He's got several Vikings here. They're just sniping these medevacs. Now, being a little ballsy here, so like taking the Zelnaga, which means he doesn't have to use scans. He has vision over here, which is great for him. Now, income tab shows 54 versus 54, so both players are keeping quite even with each other. 115 food for Jinro, 109 for Select. Now, needs to focus fire down that Marine, and he got it down, so there's the vision for Select. And now we're able to focus fire down these siege tanks here. This one's just barely enraged. Now, Marines stemming forward, picking off all of Jinro's Vikings. That was not a wise move from Jinro. Throwing away all those Vikings he had. He just lost his air control right now. And will be easily able to get medevacs in here. And now Jinro has no vision on the guys over here. Losing these siege tanks, and he's being forced to pull back because he lost all his Vikings. Income tab shows 61 harvesters to 60, so both players still fairly even. Both players have the planetary fortress at their third. And then Select's going to be doing a pretty strong push here, guys. This is a lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders, and Jinro sees that coming. He is sieging up. He is stemming forward, but forced stem, falling back immediately. Jinro needs to heal these guys up. And then Select looks like he's going home. He's a little bit afraid to engage Jinro. And Jinro is slowly creeping forward with his siege tanks. But Select's just falling back quite a bit, and, you know, afraid of the high ground here. But we have 2 medevacs loading up right now, and Select's going to be a pretty powerful drop right now. Now, if it goes this way and sees this base, this is not good for Jinro. The double drop there would be, you know, quite scary. But it looks like we're going for the main base. We're going to go all the way around. We have a large group of Marines here. If Jinro can intercept that drop, losing that drop, it's going to be quite close.